Greetings and welcome to the CSC movie recaps. The action drama movie RR will be featured. SS Rajamouli, India's top director, is the man behind RR. We first see 1920s India at Hyla village. The film is set at the time when the British Empire controlled India, opens with Scott Buxton returning from a day of hunting, as his wife, Catherine, is having her hand painted by Molly, a young and gifted girl. Scott is astounded that a child her age could have such talent. Scott has a low opinion of native people and pays them little attention. Catherine lets Scott know that she wishes to bring the young lady along. He then requests that his assistant compensate the child's mother. The mother, Loki, assumes that the payment is for creativity because of the art. She is unaware that her daughter is about to be taken away from her. Loki tries to stop the automobile from driving away, which causes a disturbance. She begs the driver to let her daughter go while hugging one of the wheels. Scott forbids the sergeant from wasting the bullet by stopping him as he attempts to shoot at her head. Instead, the sergeant strikes her with a piece of wood, instantly killing her. The tribe can only look on in shock. While in the automobile, Molly also sees her dead mum. In the next scene, furious Indians are on the verge of breaking into a prison facility while demanding the release of Lala Lajpat Rai, their leader. Given their obvious numerical disadvantage, the jail guards are afraid. The commanding officer asks for assistance, but is informed that it will be hours before the reinforcement shows up. One of the demonstrators is to be taken into custody by Alluri Sitarama Raju. Given the thousands of irate protesters outside, this appears to be difficult to accomplish. He quickly lunges toward the crowd and begins striking everyone in an effort to get the demonstrator without pausing for contemplation. He is repeatedly overpowered but yet succeeds in taking the suspect and going back inside. Special advisor to the Nizam Venkat Avadhani requests to meet with Governor Scott, but when he is not available, he informs his assistant Edward about the reason for the visit. The tribe and the police department want Molly to be returned after Scott and his colleagues took her with them. Venkat also cautions Edward that the tribe has a guardian who is prepared to put his life in danger in order to save the young child. The soldiers are then gathered by Edward, who orders them to apprehend the tribal chief despite not knowing who he is. Catherine suggests that the person who succeeds in capturing him will be elevated to the position of special officer. Raju rises to the occasion. Komaram Bheem offers his services as bait in a forest near Delhi. A tiger spots him and joins the pursuit as it continues. He finally manages to subdue the tiger with the aid of his troops. For the past 6 months, he and his team have been seeking Molly. So yet, they have had no luck. When Bheem returns to the city, he poses as a Muslim mechanic. He is assaulted by a British soldier one day, but he chooses not to fight back because he does not want his identity to be known and because he also does not want the family's safety to be jeopardized. Bheem and his soldiers watch as the governor's residence is entered. One of his friends, Jangu, is dispatched to pose as an employee. When Jangu is discovered to be without his ID, he is hit. Jenny chastises the soldier for behaving like an animal against the employee. Now that he knows how to enter, Bheem will befriend Jenny. Raju explains his strategy to his uncle. He wants the tribe chief to believe that their causes are similar. The tribe's chief will be able to relax. He and his uncle begin by attending pro-independence events as the first step in their search for Bheem. In fact, he advocates killing Governor Scott. His plan succeeds because Raju, the brother of Bheem, gets duped. He then sneakily approaches Raju and tells him that they have a penchant for killing the governor along with his brother. He almost gets arrested as a result of this. Raju and his uncle are considering their options after failing to capture Raju. They are immediately below where Bheem and his companions are hiding. Later, when fire is about to devour him, a tiny youngster screams for aid. Raju and Bheem collaborate to save the youngster. The two become closer as time passes. Raju shares a sketch of a person he's been hunting for one day. As luck would have it, the sketch is destroyed before Bheem can examine it. That would have made it clear that Raju was pursuing Raju. Raju then assists Bheem in dating Jenny, Scott's niece, without telling her of his plan to break into Scott's house. Jenny brings up Molly's name during one of their exchanges. The girl, according to her, is residing with them. When Bheem hears this, he is rendered dumbfounded. He then goes on to present the young girl with a gift. Jenny requests that Bheem attend the celebration. A dance competition is followed by an invitation to Jenny's home for Bheem. Then he realizes Molly is definitely inside and being held captive. She begs him to take her home right away, but doing so puts both of them in danger of being apprehended. He promises to free her. In the meantime, Raju is found and apprehended by Bheem. Raju throws a poisonous snake at Raju while tormenting him to reveal who his sibling is. He is then bitten by the snake. Raju informs him that his end is near and that the Gons are the only ones who have access to the antidote. He approaches Bheem, who quickly tends to him despite his dire condition. Raju learns Raju's genuine motivations after noticing that he and Bheem share similar religious traits. Despite not being aware of Raju's secret background, Bheem discloses his tribal identity and objective. Bheem's men break into Governor Scott's home during a party in his honor with a lorry loaded with various animals to stir up mayhem among the guests. As Bheem engages some of the guards in combat, the animals rush Scott's security personnel. Then he ties Jenny up. Raju arrives in full military regalia. Bheem is shocked since Raju is a British police officer, which surprises him. Then, despite Raju's pleas for him not to, he arrests Bheem even though his main goal is to save Molly. Bheem struggles with the handcuffs out of desperation to avoid being imprisoned, and the two battle until Bheem is subdued. After the incident, Raju is given a promotion for catching Bheem, but he still feels bad about what he did because of his own pro-nationalistic past and his true identity as a police mole. The governor thanks Raju and says he appreciates him. Then, in order to stop a further assault on the British, he instructs him to punish Bheem. Catherine desires to witness blood as well. The governor chooses to publicly flog the rebel tribe chief as his punishment. Then, it is urged that everyone in the neighborhood attend the public flogging. Catherine is dissatisfied when the flogging begins when no blood leaks from Bheem's body in spite of the punishment. Then Raju receives a flogger with spikes thrown at him. Raju makes an effort to convince him to take back his acts. He wants Bheem to admit to his wrongdoing, but Bheem prefers to get spanked. Bheem sings in defiance despite being in excruciating pain from his wounds, which stirs up the mob to rebel. Raju eventually realizes the irresponsibility of his conduct as a result of the riot. Raju tells his uncle about his scheme to release Molly and save Bheem. He also mentions how Bheem singing alone was sufficient to move thousands of people. The governor demands that Bheem be put to death. Raju proposes hanging him in Molly's presence. After all, he is here because of her. Raju continues by saying that Raju shouldn't be publicly hanged since then he would only be hailed as a hero. Raju prefers to have him put to death elsewhere, away from the public. In this manner, they can also dispose of his body covertly. Raju starts to develop his strategy to save Molly as the crew makes its way to the location of the execution. He sustains serious injuries in the process, but Molly is able to flee in the direction of the forest. Raju shoots the police officers who approach him. Bheem manages to escape himself. Raju's actions are therefore misinterpreted by him as an effort to murder Molly. Bheem punches Raju and then flees with her. Now, the police are frantically trying to apprehend Bheem once more. His posters are posted everywhere, and the government is willing to pay rewards for his capture. Even though Raju is just days away from being put to death, he still keeps building up his physical power. The colonial officials corner Bheem and Molly. They are about to be apprehended. Sita, Raju's betrothed, plays the smallpox card as one of the police officers approaches the room where they are hiding. The police officer flees as a result. They are all then told to leave the house when he informs his boss. She discloses Raju's true anti-colonial goals and his upcoming execution while not knowing who Bheem is. Bheem, who had assumed Raju was attacking Molly, is dejected when he realizes it was his mistake and swears to protect him. He promises Sita that he will go to any lengths necessary to rescue Raju's life. Bheem sneaks into the barracks where Raju is being held and frees him with Jenny's assistance. Raju must be carried on Bheem's shoulders due to his leg injury. They then engage in combat with the troops who are attempting to keep them from running away. The two are successful in escaping. The governor is aware of the circumstance. Then he gives the order to kill the two. Using a longbow they stole from a Ram shrine, Raju and Bheem destroy more soldiers in the jungle. Raju also employs an arrow to fire grenades, killing more soldiers. Bheem once throws a motorcycle at the soldiers while carrying it. The governor's aide Andrew is then killed. The two run to the barracks, where Governor Scott is waiting for them, while the troops are wiped out. Cannons are fired to greet them, but Raju and Bheem are unyielding. Raju directs Bheem to utilize his motorcycle and launches it in the direction of the barracks. Raju shoots an arrow at it while it's in the air, which flames the motorcycle. It crashes into the barracks where the ammo is kept, killing a number of soldiers and injuring others. This explosion also claimed Catherine's life. Governor Scott is severely injured at the end of the film and is presently being questioned by Raju and Bheem. Raju shoots an arrow at him, and Bheem uses a British weapon to finish the job. I appreciate you coming. For more content like this, subscribe to the channel to support its expansion.